Roger Shoemaker on the DY Drama Guide. The full show is Antigone. It's a good tragedy. It was originally written by Sophocles about 2,500 years ago, but it was updated in 1943 or 4 by a French playwright named Jean Malnouet, and then we're going to do some retranslation of it from the. We had a huge turnout for auditions, really great, and a lot of younger students, which is really terrific. And they all people went really well. It makes my job very difficult. The play has only 10 or 11 parts in it, so it got lots more people than do have parts. So that makes casting hard.
I'm Antigone. I play as King Creon. I'm playing the Greek chorus. I'm Miss Mayne.
I'm playing Haman.
I'm the nurse. I'm playing the first guard. I am playing the second guard.
I am playing the third guard.
The role I am playing is the King's Page.
My role is the messenger.
I'm co-stage manager. I'm co-stage manager. And yeah, theater's great. Love it.
Hi, so the Antigone story that we're doing, the production. So we got the cast done, which is very difficult, had a lot of good people, tried to figure out who would do what, got everybody in a role, posted the cast list, got in touch with them, they all showed up yesterday. So we read through the play, just started at the beginning and read all the words. Everybody who has a word read the words aloud. And it was interesting, it's difficult because it was what they call cold turkey, they hadn't had a chance to read it before. But everybody now has heard the play. So they know sort of what happens and what the words are like in that reading. So read-throughs are really important. It's the first time that they really see themselves as a cast and they see each other with the pluses and minuses and the way they are, what they bring to their roles and where the problems are. I could hear what kind of things we'll work on, for example. So that's the read-through. It happens at the beginning of every play. It just happens once. Sometimes it's the best, if you have a professional actors, it's the best time the play is until opening night, but that's another story. Now we're going to move on to the actual words of the play, which is different for this play because it's a translation, which means that I don't like some of the translation, and so what we're going to do is go very slowly through the play, and I'm going to read the French version while the stage manager reads a different translation of the play and the people in the cast read the actual words that are in this translation of the play. Then we'll stop and we'll say, is that comfortable? Is it said better in here? Is it said better in here? And if so, we'll change the script. So I got a whole bunch of pencils here, all sharpened up, ready to go, because they got to be erased out, because we'll start changing words. This translation, the one that's in this book, is the one that we'll basically use. So 80% or 85% of the eventual production will be this, but there'll be 15% that's not. We'll also decide to make some cuts, removing some words. It's a very long, wordy play. Took a long time, more time to read it than I expected. So that's where we are now, cuts and words. We'll do that all this week, and then next week we'll start blocking, start putting them on their feet, moving them around. That's what's happening.
Stage manager-wise, honestly, I love the job. Like, being an assistant, that sounds so but like, being an assistant is fun. I like taking down all the blocking. I like telling people where to go when they mess up. As far as like when people miss their entrances or when people don't write down their blocking or they miss their blocking. But there are like certain people that don't even need to write down their blocking and they've got it. Like Theo, he's doing really well for not writing down any of his blocking. So I'm surprised at that, but you know, he brought something to the company, like, all right, Theo. I am so nervous for everybody to learn their lines. We are supposed to be off book by tomorrow.
It's prime time.
It really do be like that sometimes. We know who has all their lines down. Cam, Eleanor, of course. Me.
My memorizing isn't going.
I haven't memorized most of my line, and it's due by tomorrow, and that's great. But I'll do it tonight, I promise.
At the end of week 3, there was blocking for the whole show. Everybody knew what they were saying. This is important because as you go on to the next stage, which is memorizing, getting off the book so that you can act, essentially, without walking around with a book in your hand, it means that if you have the blocking down, it helps you learn the lines because you say these words when you do that, right? So that if you don't know what you're doing when you say the words, it's harder to learn the words. This is a hard show to learn. Some people have pretty large amounts of words they have to deal with. Some people don't, but some people do. And so learning lots of words is a hard deal, but it's part of the business. It's not the most important thing that happens in the theater, but if you don't learn the words, then a lot of other stuff can't happen very well. You'll be thinking about your words instead of thinking about what's happening between the characters. So tomorrow, in the fourth week, we will work on lines. We will just work on lines in one whole rehearsal, work on lines in another rehearsal, and then we'll try what's called a stumble through, which means to see if we can put the whole show together with people not carrying their books.
I think we're definitely ahead of schedule. We don't need to have any of the costumes done until like 3 weeks away. We've already got most of the costumes, not at all. We've already got some of the costumes done. Like, I'm not even stressing. We ain't even sweating. The costume concept, we're going for kind of an every time period sort of thing with like neutral tones. So everyone's really going to be in like grays, blacks. I think the only people that are really going to be set apart from the rest are Sydney, because she's the chorus, so she's going to be outside looking in. So she's not a part of this whole neutral thing. Marcella's going to be wearing a red shirt because she is the bringer of death or whatever, messenger. Marcella.
It's the beginning of week 5, and I'm not called today, but I did come in to work costumes because that's a big thing we haven't completely gotten down yet, and I'm not stressed about the concepts. I'm stressed about ordering them in time, and we have to order it from the school and stuff, and they'll pay it, but we need a form in saying everything we need. But I haven't gotten everyone's sizes because everyone's here on different days. I'm talking to people a lot more. I'm getting costume concepts. I'm looking on Amazon. We have a couple things, so it's 10 times harder to order from Amazon. Plus, they don't try it on. You don't know if it has an elastic waistband. You don't know how people are going to react to it, how it's going to look on the body and stuff. So a lot of it is just kind of like a guess and making sure you have a backup plan.
I think it's really coming along well because last Thursday, I think it was, me and Jenny went over the romantic scene between Haman and Antigone and knocked out all the hugs, stuff like that. And my lines in that scene are basically all like, yes, Antigone, my dearest, something like that. And so learning my lines is kind of straightforward. And for my scene with Creon, I think it's definitely coming very well. I'm sort of figuring out how Haman's feeling in that moment, and it's really helping with learning the lines and the acting. I feel fine about it. I think we're ready, or we will be ready at that point.
I think that being a character who isn't present on stage as much is both a difficult and, I guess, eye-opening experience for me, because since I'm a lot younger than a lot of the people cast in this show right now, I feel like a more educational experience to be around people who are a lot more experienced and have a more in-depth look on the processes of theater and how to get into character. Seeing how all these actors manage to learn their lines and work on remembering them while on stage and getting that feel of where's my character at right now? How are they dealing with all this stuff all around them?
So we are in week 6 of 7. And week 5 was extremely successful. Everybody got off book. Everybody was acting without book. Very, few line calls, but it was a very successful time. Week 6 is more work on the show. We did a run through of the show on a work through of the show on Friday, so we saw where the show was and how it was going. And I got timing on things. Timings are important. How long is the show? Where the breaks in it are. And since the show doesn't have an intermission, the show was running a little too long. So I had to spend some time over the weekend doing a little more cutting so that we could get it into a manageable size. You can't ask an audience to sit for more than about an hour and 15 minutes. American audiences, European audiences are different, but American audiences, an hour and 15, hour 20, and that's about their end of their attention span. We'll make it work in an hour 15, I'm sure.
Don't roll your eyes at me. I already have enough to deal with.
Wrong.